everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Arni again, and in today's video I'm going to talk about my annual health check experience in Tokyo. For those of you who also needs to get an annual check in Japan but does not know a place where a clinic speaks English, then this video is for you. Or for those who wants to know a doctor that you can freely talk about your health, then this video is also for you. If you're new here, welcome to the family. My name is Arni and I film a lot of videos about Japan, about my experiences in Japan. I am from the Philippines and welcome to the family. First of all, what is an annual checkup? So in Japan, if you are employed full-time, there is what we call a must for you to get an annual check. And that is, of course, a company protocol that you need to definitely take every year, of course, from the word annual. And that is because in Japan, there is a rule that you must take an annual health check just because they want to know if your condition is good or fit, or if ever in the future you have reasons why you cannot work effectively in the company, then there's that heads up from the company saying that you're not healthy enough to work fully, or if you have symptoms and that there is this sort of paper. I'm gonna share to you today how was my experience, where did I take them, was there any difference, and stuff like that. So the first thing that I'm gonna talk to you about is my first experience. Actually, this is my third time taking the annual health check. And so my first experience taking the health check was nerve-wracking because I don't have any idea. The company has booked it for us. And yeah, of course, you really don't know what's gonna happen, right? So I took mine around Shinjuku area. And that was because it was the nearest place to my house. And usually, yeah, your company will kind of like book you a place where it's easy access to you. And I remembered I went there with a couple of my other coworkers, and we were just basically chatting that time while waiting. We had to bring ourselves a plain colored t-shirt that we have to wear during the x-ray. Maybe for some reasons, I don't know. I remembered I took some tests. I had chest x-ray, I had blood test that time. I also, of course, your height, your weight, your physical examination with a doctor, and that includes a very short consultation. And the first experience with me was very quick. It wasn't very long, and in fact, it was easy, though I was very nervous. But the first time is always going to be like that. Luckily, of course, I didn't have anything in my results. Everything went well, and so the first time was okay. So the only thing that really bothered me was that the consultation was done in English, but the doctor did not speak enough English. This was about 6,000 yen. That's within the company budget for people who aged under 30 years old. Doesn't need to take that many tests compared to those who are above 30 years old. Yeah, that was with my first experience. The second experience I had was in the first experience was, by the way, in a small clinic in Shinjuku. The second experience I had was in Yamanote Medical Center. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but that hospital is quite big, and they do operations in there. They do outpatients in there as well. So it's not a clinic, but a hospital. I did it in a hospital. And of course, they do not promise you any English again. And so the second time was better, so to say. Wasn't the best, but better, because because it was a hospital. So it's my first experience being in a hospital. The good thing in that hospital was they all just didn't care or talk much, so I was not bothered about explaining myself a lot as well. So it was very smooth. Like the first room I went, I did a test, and then they have they have a staff that would basically show you where the next room is with their hands like this, so you know where you're going. And then yeah, and they were just like basically connected to each other. So after you first did your urine test, I remembered I did my urine test first, and then I went to a kind of like a, I think that was the physical examination where I had to take my height, weight, of course physical exam, wherein you have to lie in a sort of like a bed. What I really like about that hospital though is that they had free drinks. They allowed me to bring those slippers home after the examination, so maybe it's a pretty fancy hospital. And it wasn't very cheap. I think I paid more than 10,000 yen for the whole examination. Yeah, but it was worth it because I think the service was pretty high. I only just didn't you know, I wasn't very comfortable by the fact that when you fill out information, because usually when you enter the clinic or the hospital, they usually ask you to write down something or like answer something, like, you know, like, are you a heavy smoker, do you have anything in your body that you want to address, because that's going to be the important thing they would check once you talk to the doctor, obviously. So I think that was written all in English, and there's just translation. Sorry, that was written all in Japanese, and there was just a translation in English. But it was very, very long. Like the clinic that I went the first time, they had it on their iPads, and it took me just about 5 minutes. But the second time was very, very long. Like it included a lot of questions. And if I remembered it correctly, that was 2 sheets of paper back to back. So, you know, it took me longer than I thought. And this time around, this year, I had to take my 3rd annual health check in Japan. And this time, I could never be more than happy to say that if you're looking for a clinic that speaks English and, you know, is not very busy, because one thing I learned about busy hospitals or clinics is that you can't really enjoy the whole process. So my 3rd experience is probably the thing that I should focus on talking about. So this place I went to is called International Healthcare Clinic in Tokyo. And this clinic is located in Shimbashi Station. If you are coming from, let's say, from Shinjuku Station, then you should just take the Yamanote line, which is the green train, and it should take you to Shimbashi Station directly. But yeah, it's not really that near to me because I live pretty close to Shinjuku, so it took me about an hour maybe. But it's okay because this clinic is really, really accommodating. They basically you know, help me through the whole process, and they're very, very friendly. There are not a lot of people that go there as well, and so you definitely would feel comfortable, you know, speaking to the reception staff and the doctor herself. And there are not quite a lot of rooms as well, as it's a tiny place that has all the equipments in each room. So yeah, the process is gonna be very quick. Maybe you will finish your whole examination for about 5 minutes. Yes. And so I wanted to talk about what I took. So normally for an annual health check, if you are aged, it depends on your age, right? If you are aged 40 and above, then you have more examinations to take. And this clinic provided a different list of what you should take, and, you know, according to your age, which was very, very convenient for me because I don't want to take the examinations. It's not necessary for my age, because the higher or the more examinations you take, of course, the higher the price is, obviously. So yeah, they had different names, and I'm gonna put that in here or somewhere here, also in the description box, so you can have a look at what are the different fees or the different list of examinations that they include in there. So if I remembered correctly, because I belong to the age of 30 years old and below, So they did not demand me to take that many examinations. And A2 is the cheapest among everything. So yeah, it's cheap because you only take, I think, 4 or 5 different tests. It was very, very quick, and it only cost me 4,500 pesos, which is really, really cheap. As for the examination, they were not very pushy with the other options like chest x-ray. It's optional, totally optional. So that's what I like about that clinic as well. And obviously when you go to the clinics in Japan, they would give you this ID card that you will use every time you go there. That clinic also provided that. And also because you're doing it for your company, so they provide you this. So this is the certificate showing the results of your examination. And of course, apart from this, they also give you a copy. And the copy basically is for your own reference, so you can read it all in English. And I'm so glad that I have it this time in English, because the last time it was in the hospital, it was all in Japanese. So I always had to ask my husband to read it for me and ask if I was okay, you know, so to say. And this time around, they didn't say anything much about my health result. In fact, they said it was pretty normal. It all went okay, except for the urine test. Yeah, obviously the urine test is pretty tricky to all women because you can have blood in your urine, especially, you know, before and after your monthly period. So they told me that timing is very important during a urine test. And so that's really hard because you also have your own timing of going there and, you know, setting yourself an appointment. So actually that place is really good in terms of reservation because they were very flexible. Like I was about to go there at 10:30. I was scheduled on a Friday and it was at 10:30, but I was kind of late. But to my surprise, they said okay to that. And then my coworkers were done by the time I was there, so it was my turn. So I felt like, oh, okay, cool, this is easy. And then they were using their phones at that time, so I was like, oh, okay. Unlike the previous experiences I had, usually you have to put all your stuff into a locker, or you put it in a bag, and then your bag will be placed at a different area. Yeah, usually in a locker. So that made me also feel comfortable. Yeah, it was really the, what is it, the place for foreign people, so to say. So yeah, I really wanted to recommend that to you guys. So I will also include the, what is that, the contact details, the website, and also everything else that you need to find their official website. Of course, I will include that in the description box below. And yeah, that's everything about this whole thing. Don't forget to like this video, and if you have any questions about anything about Japan, may it be related to this video about health check or annual health check, recommended clinics or the clinics that I've been, anything really, you can comment that in the comment section below. And yeah, there you have it. Thank you so much for watching, and yes, I hope to see you again in my next video. Goodbye.